Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Ada Canada. My name is Nikki. If you're new here or if you're a returning subscriber, welcome. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about some of the common mistakes that new immigrants make, and this is especially for students. We are entering into a new season, new school season, new academic session. That means a lot of international students are going to be coming into Canada for their studies. If you are starting school or if you are moving to Canada very soon, you should definitely check out this video, watch this video to find out the common mistakes that new immigrants tend to make, so that you don't end up making these mistakes when you get into Canada. Definitely do keep watching. In no particular order, the first common mistake that a lot of new immigrants make, students and also PRs alike, is that they do not perform adequate research. Okay, so you're excited, you've gotten your visas, you've gotten everything that you need to move into Canada, and in the peak of that excitement, you forget to do research. If you have never ever been to Canada before, that means that you're coming in fresh into the country, and what you need to do is you need to perform adequate research. Research is super important. I've said this so many times in my previous videos that it's really very important to research about this new place, this new country that you're coming to, so that you are well equipped, so that you are well informed. Research about the province that you're coming into, research about the school that you're going to be entering into, the school life, the campus life. You can research about accommodations, you can research about the community, how do they do things there, what is the culture like. You can research about apartments, just anything, right? It's really important because you don't want to come here and be overwhelmed. It's very easy to become overwhelmed here in Canada. If you're not equipped, people can easily mislead you, right? So it's very important to arm yourself with the right amount of information. You can also ask questions, send emails, reach out to people. If you know someone who is here in Canada, or if you have family here in Canada, you can also ask them questions and and just find out about things, right? Just so that you're better informed. Even research about job opportunities, right? You just don't want to come here and be taken by surprise by the way things are done here. Know enough about just everything and anything that you need to research about. Do everything, cover all your bases before you get here, so that you're not overwhelmed or taken by surprise. The second common mistake that a lot of new students make is making expensive purchases, buying expensive things that you don't need or that are not necessary. And I know that when you're coming into Canada, especially now that it's a new school season, the market is going to be hot for apartments, especially for students, and prices might go up depending on the area that you are, the city that you're in, the province that you're in. It all depends on so many factors, and there might be that tendency to want to rush to get a place to stay just because it's difficult getting apartments, or because it's a new school season, so a lot of students are going to be rushing apartments and all of that, and you tend to pay exorbitant amounts. Or you might tend to meet certain places or certain types of accommodation whereby the landlord or whoever owns the building will want you to pay upfront, like 6 months of rent or 1 year of rent upfront, or sign a lease or any of those things. What I would advise is for you to calm down. Don't be in a haste to make that expensive purchase buying a new rental apartment. Try to understand the way the apartment system works. Ask questions, do your research. How do you look for accommodation? If you have someone that is in the city that you're moving to, or if you know someone who can help you, that's really great, because then you know that the person you can ask the person to like go do the research for you, so that you can compare prices. The goal is to not be in a haste to go and buy an expensive apartment, because you're coming in as a student, okay? You're going to need all the money that you can get. You don't need to really spend all of your money, all of your allowance on an apartment, okay? You need to do proper research to find out which is the best place to stay. Take your time, get to know the place, visit so many places when you get here, and you can even make a 2-week plan or a 30-day plan to stay in an Airbnb while you figure things out. If you have family here, or if you have a friend here that's willing to let you stay in their place while you figure things out, or while you go out to seek for apartments, that's fine. But within that time frame, just make sure that you're doing the most that you can, doing the best that you can, just so you don't get cheated, or just so you don't get yourself into problems. Some of you might come in and, you know, be like, oh, I want to get a new car. I would strongly advise getting a new car if you're coming in as a new student, except if you have the money to spend on it. But honestly, I would strongly advise against getting a new car, because when you're getting a new car, except if you have $40,000 for example to buy a new car outright, you would end up buying the car on credit, and you have to pay monthly. So you have to be paying car notes. Every amount, you pay a certain amount for that car for a number of years until you complete that payment. Trust me guys, it's not worth it, and you shouldn't really be doing that if you're coming in as a new student. I would suggest instead start using the public transportation so that you can be able to find your bearing, understand how the road network works, and try to get your bearing before you go ahead and purchase a car. And even when you're purchasing a car, I would strongly advise against buying a brand new car. The car notes are expensive, and also the insurance as well is expensive, and you don't want to be accruing a lot of debt as a student, right? Because you're already spending thousands of money paying tuition, right? So you don't need that extra debt that is hanging on your neck. If at all you must buy a car, let it be a used car that is certified, or let it be a used car that is good, that is strong, you know, that does the job but at a cheaper price. Or better still, use the bus system or use the train system, however it is, and just try to get used to your environment before you go ahead and buy a car. Also, when you're buying material things like, for example, clothes, or, you know, items, equipment, and all of those things, you might go into a department store, you know, after buying. When you're checking out with the cashier will be like, oh, would you like to sign up for a rewards card so that you can get 10% off or 20% off? Guys, stop. Don't do it. Whatever you do in this life, stay away from anything credit card that has to do with a department store. Stay away from it. That is the fastest way to become broke in Canada, especially as a student. You do not need any of that. They only tell you things that would entice you and kind of mess with your psyche, right? So that the only thing you're hearing is, oh, 10% off, 20% off, 25% off. That means I get money off my order, right? It becomes cheaper for me, so I'm going to sign up for it, right? But then you are excited that you're getting something off, you're getting a certain percentage off, which is going to be cheaper for you. You're excited about that to the point where you forget to read the fine print, you know, those tiny things on the paper that you sign, those tiny things in details that come with expensive fees. The only credit card that I think you should be getting is the credit card from the bank. Okay, leave the department store cards alone. Trust me guys, you don't want to be purchasing anything on credit from the department store, especially as a new immigrant, as a new student. You don't want to do that, because that's a very sure way to accrue debt, and you don't need to be accruing debt. You don't need to come here and start accruing so much debt. If you're trying to save money, what I would suggest is visit the thrift stores and check out the clothes. There are some items that you will get at the thrift stores that last longer than buying it at maybe a designer store or brand name stores, right? So thrift stores are a very good way to get things for cheap, where you get more and pay less. You want to be conserving your money. You don't want to be spending your money making expensive purchases, buying things that you don't need. You want to really save yourself a lot of stress while you're in school. The third common mistake that a lot of new immigrants, new students especially, make is no clear career path, no defined career path. Before you come into Canada, just make sure that whatever it is you're coming to study in Canada is something that is concrete. And when I say concrete, I mean there is a career path. There is a demand for it here in the next 5 years, 10 years. You want to be looking at coming into Canada to study programs or diplomas or certificate courses or anything like that that you know is going to be very, very beneficial to you. Take a look at the job markets in different provinces, see what each profession is like, see how well this profession is doing, see how well the job market is like, see how well the demand is like for these kinds of professions, and then tailor your needs towards that. Because honestly speaking, you don't want to come here, study something, and when you're done, you've graduated, you find it very difficult to get a job, and you're left with settling for less, or settling for an odd job, or just doing something that is not in your mind to do. It's not really what you want to do, but you're just doing it because you can't get a job, so you just have to do it. These careers should be the ones that are in demand 5 to 10 years from now, because that's how long it's going to take you to become a citizen. So you want to be in a profession that is actually in demand, that there is a need for those types of careers here in Canada, just so that you don't end up wasting time. The fourth mistake that a lot of people make is lack of a contingency plan. Okay, so contingency plan is like having a backup. So you have your main plan, which is your plan A. Your contingency plan will be something like your plan B, your plan C, your plan D, your plan E, right? So you already have a set defined plan that this is what you want to do when you come into Canada. Maybe you come into Canada and you want to look for a job while attending school. If your program permits it, you should have a plan B. What happens when you can't get a job in 1 month? What happens when you can't get a job in 2 months? What happens when plan A doesn't work? You move to plan B, right? And if plan B doesn't work, you move to plan C. If plan C doesn't work, you move to plan D, and you keep going. On average, it takes about 6 months roughly to get a job when you come in as a new immigrant here in Canada. Whether it's as a student or as a PR, it takes about 6 months. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to spend 6 months sitting at home. It just means that it's an average. So some of you might come in and within 2 weeks you've already gotten a job. Some of you might come in within 2 months, right? Some of you, it might take longer than 6 months. But the idea is that you need to have a contingency plan in place, so that when your main plan or goal doesn't seem to work out for some reason whatsoever, you need to have something to fall back on, right? You need to have savings, because if you don't have a job, then there's no way you can pay bills, there's no way you can pay your rent, there's no way you can, just survive here if you don't have anything that's generating income for you. So have that backup plan, have enough savings. When you're coming into Canada, have like 6 to 8 months worth of savings that would last you, that would keep you kind of afloat until something better comes along. And that's all it's about, because trust me guys, you don't want to come here and be stranded. That is the last thing you ever want to do. It's going to be tough, and it's going to be very frustrating and depressing for you. So have as many backup plans as possible, and also have enough savings that will cover you and keep you afloat. The fifth mistake that a lot of new immigrants, new students make is comparing lifestyles. This one is especially for students. Like they always say, comparison is the thief of joy. And what you need to understand is that you are an individual. You're not joined to anybody. You don't share DNA with anybody else, well, except if you're a twin. But technically you understand what I'm saying. You don't share DNA, you don't share anything with anybody else. You don't need to compare yourself with another person, because you don't know what it took for them to get to where they are. The goal is, do not compare your beginning with somebody else's middle. You can't come into Canada and be like 2 weeks old or a month old in Canada and start comparing yourself to somebody who's been there for 2 years. It's not the same pathway. No two destinies are the same. So there is no need comparing this lifestyle with this other lifestyle. Focus on your own journey, focus on your own pathway. It's very easy to become sad when your friend tells you, oh, they've gotten a job at so and so place that pays more, and you're working at this other place where you're getting less than, and maybe this other person starts to kind of live big, or situations where you feel like somebody else is doing better than you, and you should have been at that level that the person is, but you're not. Guys, stop it, okay? Stop comparing your beginning to somebody else's middle. Stop comparing your beginning to somebody else's top. It's not healthy for your mental health, for your physical health. It's just not healthy at all. Instead of comparing, focus on yourself. You see, okay, this person has already gotten to this extent that they've gotten to. This person has already succeeded in this thing that they wanted to. How can I do it even better so that I too can succeed. That should be your mindset, right? How can I do it better? What do I need to do so that I can succeed in my own pathway? What do I need to do? Do I need to take extra courses, maybe like certificate courses or online courses? Do I need to do more? Do I need to work more? Do I need to look for a better job than the one I'm doing? Do I need to, you know, equip myself with more information? Just like your goal, your mindset should be, what do I need to do so that I can better my situation? What do I need to do so that I can do better, right? So that I can perform better, so that I can grow more, so that then I don't have to start having that inferiority complex again. You don't really know what that person went through to get to where they got to, right? So there is no need. You don't know what the person did. You only see what you see, which is what they want to show you, but you don't really know the inside details of what went down for them to get to that level, right? So there's just no need. And honestly, it makes you so exhausted when you compare lifestyles. It makes you so frustrated because you're not happy. You won't even focus on yourself to make yourself better, right? So what's the point? So the point is, just get busy with your own life. You can be happy for them, but at the same time, just get busy with your own life and try to make your own situation better. Try to go out there, put yourself out there to do better or work better, or just however you want to do it, that's going to make you shine, that's going to make you grow and succeed. Then just do it. The sixth mistake that a lot of new students, new immigrants make is not giving yourself a break. This one hits very close to home. If you've been watching my YouTube videos, you will understand what I'm saying. So when you're coming in as a new student, it's a new environment, it's a new educational system, everything is all new. The Canadian educational system is it's very stressful. I'm not going to like sit here and lie to you. It's very, very stressful. There is a lot to do in a very short amount of time, and you're always doing something every time. You always want to study to the point where you don't take out time for yourself. You don't take out time for self-care. You don't take out time to just relax, chill, and just kind of enjoy something, right? You're so focused on studying, you're so focused on working that you don't even have time for yourself. Guys, that is the fastest way to create burnout for yourself, and you do not need to do that, right? It is very important that in whatever you're doing, whether you're studying and you're working at the same time, create time for yourself. Take time out to rest, take time out to enjoy, take time out to visit new places, make new friends, make new connections, form a network, build something, build relationships. Let me tell you something, people here in North America don't joke with holidays. I mean, take a look at Canada, for example. We have so many holidays in a year, right? And people don't joke with holidays. When it comes to summer, people are always traveling. People want to travel to Mexico, people want to travel to Toronto, people want to travel to US, travel to Thailand, just anywhere that they can go and just relax and not be in that environment that creates that stress, so that they can recharge. People here don't joke with holidays, right? So why should you? I mean, there's no use killing yourself, because if you run yourself to the ground, somebody else is going to take your place. Try as much as possible to live your best life while you're here. It's good to study, have the time to study and all, but at the same time, create time to enjoy life, enjoy this environment. That's the basics of creating a very good work-life balance. All right, guys, so these are the common mistakes that I wanted to share with you. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, subscribe to my channel. Please, guys, subscribe to my channel, guys. Please, please, please. Turn on my post notifications so that you will never miss an upload. And with that, I'm going to be seeing you in my next video. Bye.